Hi, welcome to another Seed in the Ground. Today's verse is Luke 4 verses 16 through 21. So he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. And he was handed the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord." Then he closed the book and gave it back to the attendant and sat down. And the eyes of all who were in the synagogue were fixed on him. And he began to say to them, "Today this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." Earlier in Luke chapter 4, we find Jesus being tempted by Satan in the wilderness. After successfully rebuking Satan, he left and made his way towards Galilee and Nazareth. When Jesus arrived at Nazareth, he made his way to the house of worship. In those days, every synagogue followed a similar worship service. The service would begin with several blessings offered to God. The congregation would recite the Shema, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." Then the Torah scrolls will be brought out by the Hazan. The scrolls were to be read in a predetermined order at a predetermined time. Not only that, each service would have a person assigned from within the community to read the scroll. After the scroll was read, the person who read the scroll would sometimes give a sermon. It wasn't by happenstance, accident, or chance when Jesus arrived at the synagogue on that Sabbath, he was handed the scroll of Isaiah. No, it was ordained and orchestrated on purpose for a purpose. For his Father had ordained in this moment that everything would align. God's timing is impeccable, for it was the Hazan, not the reader, that was responsible for getting the scroll for the scheduled reading. Jesus didn't get to the synagogue too early. He didn't get there too late. He got there at the right time to find his place in the scriptures and proclaim to everyone these simple but powerful words. Today, this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing. Family, our Father's timing is impeccable. Even though you may not see his hand moving, he is still moving things together for your good. You might be in a wilderness today. It seems like everything and everyone is hitting you with all they got and the kitchen sink. But the good news is you're still here. You're still breathing. You're still praying. You're still believing. Even if things don't seem like they are changing, know that God has a purpose for your life and he will fulfill it. But you have to do your part. When you fall outside of his will, confess it to him. Allow him to pick you back up and place you back on his perfect path. At the right time, his timing, you will come out of that situation and walk out of the famine and into the feast. He will exchange your fears, doubts, and falls for faith, blessed assurance, and victory. Keep believing in faith. Keep walking towards his favor.